Alright, so we're a day late. We missed an upload day due to the holiday week being busy. Sorry about that. But I'm back and refreshed now, so let's get started. Butterfly Kuroyukihime is a limited unit released on Saturday as a 2-for-1 package deal with Bride Kuroyukihime, also a limited unit, who hasn't come out yet. Apparently she's slated to be released around Valentine's Day. She's an offensive support unit whose main use is being able to attack buff both herself and her allies, while then finishing off enemies with her high damaging AoE Climax skill. While she has this role of support, her stats are pretty much more indicative of a high damaging DPS. She has the stats of a glass cannon, which does make our job of team building quite a bit harder. I'm gonna be honest, when I was first using her, I thought she was pretty weak, but after some more testing and using her, she's pretty strong. However, in my honest opinion, she's probably not the type of overall strong where you want to use her for everything, but you could. Butterfly Kuroyukihime's best use is definitely the 3-robot Decrepit Dream. Her first ability, Princess's Order, is a 0-cost attack buff skill that increases the damage dealt of all allies. This buff can stack on only Butterfly Kuroyukihime up to 3 times. This essentially means, after 3 turns of using this skill, your Climax skill can deal maximum damage. And this is probably how you should play it with Butterfly Kuroyukihime. It does allow for an even larger ultimate burst and allows you to weaken enemies by a large margin beforehand by buffing your allies. Her second ability is Butterfly Purify, a 2-cost Purify skill that removes debuffs, and any ally that has had a debuff removed will deal extra damage. I guess one of the issues I might have with this skill is that it works the exact same way the first one does, but the percent attack buff trade-off between this skill and the first is extremely minimal. I would only use this if you truly needed it, or after you already used your Climax skill, because the extra stacks from your first skill will matter a lot less after you use it. Butterfly Kuroyukihime's Climax skill is Deadly Butterfly Dance, a 10-cost Climax skill that deals damage to all enemies. Just note, this ultimate only has a crit check once, as it hits all enemies a single time. But the animation is sick and actually has some subtle noises. This will either be your finisher, or a Climax skill you'll use after you've used Princess's Order 3 times. When crossed with Haruyuki, their cross skill is Born Butterfly, a 4-cost skill that deals damage to the middle enemy. And finally, her last skill, when crossed with Zero, Animal Partner, deals damage across all enemies for 5 skill points. This deals slightly less damage than the Mikoto/Kuroko cross, but having 2 units with some of the highest attack stats in the game more than makes up for that. Butterfly Kuroyukihime's exclusive talent is Snow Black, which gives bonus Climax points and increases your attack after defeating an enemy. It's a very powerful exclusive talent. Now then, let's move on to Butterfly Kuroyukihime's final about her section, her awakenings. Her first awakening buffs Princess's Order's first stack. Her second awakening increases her attack. Her third awakening increases the attack buff from Butterfly Purify. Her fourth awakening increases her defenses, and her final awakening buffs her exclusive talent, Snow Black, by giving you 3 Climax points after an enemy is defeated. Generally, from what we can gather here, her awakenings aren't incredibly strong, or necessary to the rest of her kit. Awaken her if you want to, however, just know that you don't need to awaken her in order to make her a lot stronger. Talent wise, we should play to her strengths no matter what. Therefore, we will always run percent attack and snow black. When we are first starting out, we also want to run health and crit rate. We want to run health because we don't have enough crit support early on, and we probably want to wait until we decide on using her as a damage dealer or aggro support. We run crit rate anyway, because we want to be able to crit heal if we're running another support on her, such as Leafa or anything else. Once you have enough crit support, we can swap out the health for crit damage possibly, depending on if you want to hardcore burst with Butterfly Kuroyukihime. Just note she only has one actual skill, or just player has a more aggressive support in general. Equipment wise, there are two sets of equipment that I would generally recommend. If you're using Butterfly Kuroyukihime for Decrepit Dream or using her Climax skill often, I would recommend running the guild set. This will generally be one of the few times I will actually vouch for it. It synergizes pretty well with Butterfly Kuroyukihime's general rotation, as you can use your first skill 2 times and then use your Climax, or wait until turn 6 to use your Climax while also getting the 40% damage buff from Princess's Order. Just note that you will gain the attack buffs after moving for 2 turns, and then your attack will only be buffed for 1 singular turn, and it'll reset after that. If you're using her for more utility, or as a general buffer, I would recommend either the art set or the gamer gear set. Probably the gamer gear set, since generally on turn 1, you'll use your first skill anyways. This allows Butterfly Kuroyukihime to play into the more generalist support style, also allowing her to not get nuked as easily. All in all, she's a really good unit, and like all the other limiteds, I would recommend pulling for her, especially since she is a 2-for-1 deal. I'll talk about some more stuff, but for now, let's go on to some team building. Some of you might have noticed that I skipped over mentioning her best subunit while talking about crosses, and that's because she has a different subunit based on how you want to play her. In my opinion, you'd want to run her with either Zero, Leafa, Len, or Kuroneko. Zero provides a high damaging cross skill while also increasing her attack. Leaf provides a fantastic burst heal that also removes bleeds and backfires, which Kuroyukihime cannot remove herself. Len is another high damaging support which allows Kuroyukihime to maximize her damage, while also being the second fastest support unit in the game. Kuroneko is the fastest support unit in the game, allowing her to get Princess's Order turn 1 as fast as possible. So with that, let's make 1 or 2 teams. For now, let's start with Zero, who is probably best run when running Decrepit Dream. With that, let's make 1 or 2 teams. For now, let's start with Zero, who is probably best run when running Decrepit Dream. For now, we are going to try and avoid other limited units, such as Alice and Dual Blade Kirito, and try to avoid using another Kuroyukihime, so that we don't limit ourselves in the fragment department. We also want to deal massive AoE damage, and there aren't that many characters that have high damaging skills that also deal area of effect damage. However, Shauna is one of them, so we're going to be running her. I'm actually going to be running this just to see how fast the robots are, and if we do move before them. So we've played around with the speed value, and even at slightly over 1000 speed, the robots are still faster, which generates us a lot more skill points in general. Although that was a little bit of a different thing to try to do, I did method test this a little bit, and since we are slower than the robots, Shauna is an excellent user because you want to be able to use her first bleed skill on turn 1. Therefore, I want her to be slower than Butterfly Kuroyukihime at the same time. So I'm going to switch their partners and have Butterfly Kuroyukihime run Len and Shauna run Zero. A lot of stuff like this is really important when you're testing out teams because you want to make sure that you are maximizing as many different types of variants, stats, speed, attack values as possible. Since we are running Decrepit Dream and we want to maximize our DPS and efficiency, just note that right now, at turn 1, we are using 4 skill points. Therefore, we have 2 skill points that carry over onto the next turn. With that in mind, an excellent candidate for us would be Mikoto, because by turn 2, Mikoto will finally be able to bleed also. So right now, with our general turn rotation, on turn 1, we want to use Butterfly Kuroyukihime's S1 skill and Shauna's S2 skill. In total, that's 4 skill points. So, turn 2, we have 2 leftover skill points. Therefore, no matter what, even the first person moving on turn 2 will have 3 skill points guaranteed. Therefore, I think a really good unit that also deals massive AoE damage to run would be Mikoto. Out of all of her crosses, her strongest one is definitely her with Kuroko, because it deals massive damage, and with that massive damage, maybe we might be able to splurge enough points in order to be able to use it. So let's check the general turn rotation of what it would look like so far. As of right now, without taking any climaxes into account, right now on turn 1, Shauna will use a 4 cost skill, allowing Mikoto on turn 2 to use her 3 cost skill. And right after that, that's a full reset. Shauna should only be using her S1 by then. And Butterfly Kuroyukihime is also only going to use her S1. So we're going to basically skip one whole turn. Therefore, we'll have 7 skill points by the time it's Mikoto's turn again. And since we have 7, we can use her cross skill with Kuroko on that turn. And even if we do use that, all the robots will go and Butterfly Kuroyukihime goes. Therefore, when it's Shauna's turn, we'll have enough skill points to be able to use her S2 bleed again. And then after that, we'll just set up for ultimates and all that jazz. I think that this is a pretty decently strong team, and we have a lot of speed. Right now, we're just accounting for speed values, we're accounting for skill points and everything like that. This was a little bit more in depth in talking about like the actual counting, which is very important when it comes to Decrepit Dream, because you want to try and maximize every little piece of efficiency. While this is not the best team that I could run, nor is it probably a team that I would 100% say, hey, you should run this team no matter what. I hope that this is a good enough talk about team building, and hopefully you guys have some great ideas when it comes to Butterfly Kuroyukihime. I just wanted to give a quicker example. Again, it's probably not perfect, but being able to talk about all these numbers, talking about how much each skill costs and other stuff like that is a very important factor when it comes to running Crossing Void teams. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to be out. Hopefully there's an announcement at the end. If you guys made it to this part of the video, I would like to thank you guys very much for watching all the way to the end, even if not all of it's important. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to be streaming today, right as this video goes live, somewhere around 12:30 p.m. EST. Also, I just want to note that if we finish up all our farming on free-to-play and our main account and stuff like that, we'll be playing a little bit of Arknights, because we got into the closed beta trial. Hopefully that's a little bit exciting. I played Arknights a little bit yesterday. It was all right, but you know, we should play it a little bit more, just test it out. Also, if we end up getting bored with Arknights or finish it, we're gonna start trying out Iron Saga. So hopefully you guys will join me on stream. Don't worry, this is a longer stream, and I'm actually gonna play a decently long session of Crossing Void. At the very least, 3-4 hours of Crossing Void. Hope to see you guys there. Link down below. And otherwise, have a fantastic day.